So, what did Kyokai did with Ohan? It can't be the same thing that happened here, right? Just when you thought you know what Olsen is cooking, but apparently we have been duped. We are close to the endgame, leaving the leader to play their trump card. Who knows how many they have in stock? It's time for Chin spies to make their move. How the table has turned. This was an interesting chapter with a really good build-up for Shin's first day as Chin's right-wing commander. The fans were left pondering about the twist of spies have infiltrated. Like, why waited this long? His answer here, but subtly. There's many to suggest why, but one thing is certain is the task is not easy at all. The amount of days to wait while hiding in the enemy's ground is all kinds of fear. It takes great Gintama to take this mission. It also comes with a guaranteed price to pay. Your life. This is the mission of no return. The chapter begins with a scene from 14 years ago. As you remember from the last chapter, there was a story about a man who faked his identity as well as others. This one covers another person with a similar tactic under the name Kontetsu, who acted injured, assured by his civilian that they will be fine. Is essentially the beginning of the end. I don't know why, but the narrator stating the present timeline made me laugh. It's probably because I imagined the narrator going, and now, back to the present time. But seriously, it's time to complete the mission. The spies infiltrated the locations and disguised themselves as Zhao's men. I like one poke fun at Takuta for that name. It speaks loud volume when they are preparing for the inevitable death, yet not bound by any fear. This is all for their beloved lord, Olsen. They are willing to pay their life to complete this mission, and before doing so, they all embrace with bromance hugs. What a nice farewell scene. This was so inspiring, and I don't even know them. That's when you know the moment was special. Once the mission goes off, it's nothing but breaking news left and right for the Lord of Gyo. I don't remember his name, I'm sorry. Unless we never got his name. I forgot. It really got to suck to be him right now. I did chuckle on how the news keeps on piling up to the point he's like, alright, what the hell, guy? When it comes down to it, all 4 large storehouses are in flame. Olsen's trump card is now in motion. No Heki to blame on now. There's a strong indication on why Olsen's spies made their move now. One guy reflected that they were done using the smaller sizes of storehouses. Just now, they opened up the largest one. They probably waited for the perfect time, and what's better than taking out the Titans? There was no way for the spies to make it out alive, and as unfortunately expected, all members are slayed. This would have seen as a sad end. However, all of them died with a smile. That's what I call true loyalists, loyal to the very end. Once again, this was so inspiring, and yet, I don't know their names. All I know is they earn great respects for their sacrifices. Lord of Gyo is in deep trouble. I know. You don't say. It has been a while to see a panicked Zhao's lore, even if he's not a real fighter, so this left me satisfied. For now, he has to cover it up before everyone lose their head. Also, they want to tally up the number of sources left before reporting to Riboco. I sense another Heki's disaster. But now Zhao edition. I am thrilled to know how much they have left. We may not see Riboco's reaction just yet, but I am anticipated to see his head spin. Olsen should just leave another hole to ice the cake. It's pretty obvious by now that Kanki army had no part of this at all. I still laugh at Okiko whenever he shows up. Kanki was impatient for lack of action, but even Olsen's move left him amused. Perhaps he won't be bailing out now. Hell, maybe Olsen does have something in mind for him as well. The downfall for Zhao keeps on rising. Speaking of rising, the hype for day 14 keeps on growing, but the worn out state of Hishin unit is concerning, some of which needs a leverage to stand before they fight, and some of which are in need for recovery from wounds or hunger. To add more ways, this is the first huge day for Shin as Shin's right-wing commander, and that means Hishin unit is the center. What a day to kick off for those exhausted men. Godspeed. It's also a huge day for Ten as strategist of the right wing. She couldn't handle the task with her unit alone. Now she has to handle just about everyone. It's bad enough that it heavily relies on her tactical move. One blunder and it will all crash and burn. Despite the drastic shift of position, I am glad that this is happening. Fans first thought she won't do anything throughout the arc since they went with go for broke move. Now, she is essential for the right wing, giving her a big role. But the struggle remains. Only thankfully for her development arrives. How do you begin to shake her up? Why, Kyokai has a great idea. Grope her. Yeah, that actually happened. It's a hilarious mood swing that threw me off completely. But because of her experience, I guess this would cheer her up. Should I wonder what did she do with Ohan? Shin thinks this would work, but Kyokai punches him. I can't say I don't fault him for trying if he actually believed it. Well, he tried. As odd yet hilarious it was, it's the kind of mood Ten needs. Shin earlier did try to bring in a good feel mood with Morning Call, but she is too tense to respond properly. That's been her problem since the beginning of the arc, and now it has to be dealt with. Her weakness is that she cared too much. It's not bad to care, but it can turn against you when you're gone too deep. In fact, I can relate to that since I often care too much on a normal situation that leads normally or nowhere. Basically, don't feel too responsible for every action. Otherwise, ironically, it will backfire heavily. Shin shows her that everyone is ready and able to pay their life for the sake of victory. It's an ironic twist of trust. Caring too much leaves you distrust. It's not easy to care less or balance it, let alone her situation with life and death. But she has to know not everything has to fall under her or anyone. Anything can happen. Just go with it and deal with it on the go. This is a nice good feel moment for Ten and others. It's now the payoff is slowly paying off. So I expect a strong rebound for Ten and her tactic. With Shin and Kyokai ready to take out generals, vintage Hishin unit is back. Well, for those three at least, the ending is interesting because of who ends the chapter. Chogayu already figured out that Shin is Shin's right-wing commander. The man knows war, alright. He vowed to end him and his unit before the latter half of the day begins. That is hell of a confidence words he spouted, but I could buy into that. Not to say it will happen, but his credibility is good. With that said, it could also indicate that his time may be up on this day. There's a death flag raising, and him taking the fall next makes sense. Who would get the kill? Shin again? We'll see. Overall, this was an interesting chapter that answered some questions and left with anticipation for the next. As straightforward the plan was, it was great to see the loyalists pay their life and honor for Olsen. Going out with a smile. The fall of Zhao continued to grow, and if Shin and the right wing succeed, it's going to be a fatal blow. Ribako's reaction is saved for next time, but I can imagine he won't be happy. Day 14 is shaping up to be intense. My excitement can last eternally. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. I could imagine day 14 to be the worst day yet for Zhao. I mean, you hear news about Guild and the supplies, and then you hear the news that Shin is just kicking ass. We'll see what happens, but I could already sense day 14 is gonna be the worst day ever so far. What do you think of the chapter? Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.